Coach Teresa Ford here, and this is the Guiding You Home podcast. This is a thought-provoking and often humorous approach to moving you closer to the only one who can genuinely help you live a life of abundance and prosperity. Sound good? Yeah, it's you that needs to go within so you can sit in the driver's seat of your life, co-creating with God. So make room for more light and knowledge. As you continue to listen, you will discover elements of how to lead with your inner light, how to act on your specific promptings, and how to follow your spiritual intuition so you can fulfill the measure of your creation. Thanks for being here, and let's dive in. Hey, let's talk about emotions today. Episode 5. Thank you for listening. I can't tell you, that makes me so excited that you are like, okay, I'm hungry for more. Let's go. Because this stuff can go deep and it can touch on a few nerves and it can sometimes be even confusing, but I'm trying to give you as much clarity as possible. So let's jump into this. Emotions. This, I'm just going to tell you up front, this idea that we're talking about today about how to read your emotions and to identify what your emotions are actually trying to tell you is a very abstract idea. So hang with me, and you might have to re-listen to this a few times. So hopefully this will be a short episode because, you're probably going to need to hear it 2 or 3 times. In the beginning, these things are pretty Greek. It's like, I don't know what I'm hearing. It's like, okay, that's a good idea, but I don't know how to apply it. Listen to it again. Go back and re-listen to it. Listen to it again. I promise the ideas will start to sink in. If you need help, I'm available. Contact me, teresaford@gmail.com. Okay, let's jump in. So when you have a thought, it provokes an emotion, right? We tend to think, okay, I think haunted houses are super scary, and when you approach a haunted house, you get that feeling in your gut, right? You kind of freeze up a little bit. You got tension in your body. If you think, oh, that's so sweet, that puppy, your body's very relaxed. When you think, oh, I've got a test next week, but I have to work all week, I'm not going to have time to study for it. You have stress and you get that gut feeling. Or have you ever thought, oh, this is a good one. This is a really good one. Have you ever thought, oh, I didn't get invited? And then your heart flumps. It just gives a fast palpitation. And sometimes, if we've practiced this really well, if we're really good at it, we'll have pain. There'll be a little sharp jab in the heart. Yeah. What was that? Your brain is incredibly powerful. And if we don't control it, if we don't monitor it, if we don't ask it to perform at a better level, a higher level to help us out, it will run away with it. It's just a runaway train. Controlzilla, like spitting fire and spreading shame. So if you're having thoughts and you have an immediate reaction to that, an emotion, we got to identify where that emotion is coming from. So back to last episode 4, we were talking about fear versus love. And I promised that we would talk about emotions in the next episode. When you feel loving feelings, you're warm, you're relaxed, all is well, you're centered, you are like yourself because you are nothing but pure love and light. Even if you haven't been taught that, even if you don't think so, even if you're trying to keep yourself feeling sad and in a place of victimhood because it's a habit in the family, it's like the family legacy, whatever that is. And when I say that, it's not judgmental. I had a family legacy that was based in victimhood. So I understand the concept. I practiced it for a very long time. It was never fun. I was always miserable. So I am actually speaking on the other side of knowing what my emotions were telling me. Okay. So your emotions are an indication of whether you're closer to the love that you are or further from it. That's it. Your negative emotions are indicating the distance between the love and light that you are and the beliefs and the thoughts that you're having. So if you're having a false belief, I'm not loved, I was forgotten, I'm out of control, those thoughts don't feel good. And your gut, your emotions, they're going to tell you so. It's like, oh, ugh, we don't like those ideas. Nope, that's not how we feel about it. Because we is your spirit. We is the energy that you were created from. We is the pure love and light that you are. Okay. So when your body's like, we don't love that, that's not who we are. We're pure positive light. We can't look backwards. We can't be sad. We are just all about creativity and love and light and intelligence and growing and learning and loving. Like, your inner self is amazing. Somebody you really ought to get to know if you haven't already. But because we have these mortal eyes, we're just like looking around the world going, that's wrong, that's going to hurt me, that's keeping me from making a living, that's not fair, that's a frustration, those people are hateful, they might hate me, I'm being judged. Like those thoughts, ooh, yucky gut soup. Yes, I said it. That is what I call all those negative emotions in your gut. Yucky gut soup. And when you have more than 3 negative emotions, you get yucky gut soup. More than 3. You could probably pick out 1, 2, or 3 negative emotions that you're having all at once. But after that, there's so many emotions involved. You're just like yucky gut soup. There's just a whole list of ingredients in there making my gut feel yucky. Right? Whether it's a headache or body aches or heart palpitations or just a sock in the stomach or just your bowels aren't working right, whatever it is, that's yucky gut soup. Okay? And it's a practice habit. Telling yourself things that are not true. Truth feels good. So your truth, it was always going to make you feel good. Okay, I'm just letting that sink in a little bit. Your truth, meaning your true self, your loving, light, easygoing, harmonious, friendly self. That person cannot believe in false truths or falsehoods. That's what I mean. It only believes in the truth, the things that are of light, the things that make you rise, the things that lift you up. So if you tell yourself something that's not true, you feel bad. Okay, did I just say that out loud? Let's say it again. If you tell yourself an untruth, you feel bad. If you tell yourself something that is true, aligned with who you are and aligned with the source from which you were created, you feel good. Questions? Well, thanks for coming to the podcast today. No, I'm just kidding. We're gonna nail this down just a little bit more. Okay, hang with me. When you're feeling negative emotion, check to see how negative. What's the degree to which you feel negative? Because if you're feeling anger, that's actually better than despair. Despair is totally giving up. It's not caring anymore. Anger, you still got a little bit of fight in you. So anger is actually a better energy than despair is, right? Hate has a higher energetic frequency than grief. Grief is heading down towards despair. Grief can really put you under the bus. And all of these emotions that you're having, I'm not saying that they're wrong. I'm saying they're indicating how far from the real, true you have gone. So in this world, it is really hard when someone passes away. We love them dearly, and now we have to figure out how to live without them. Grief sets in because we're focused, our thoughts are focused on the loss, the uncertainty. How are we going to get along without them? The loss. Oh, who am I going to lean on now? Right? The loss of their, let's say they were young, the loss of the dreams that we had for them to live their life fully. When we're experiencing grief and loss and disappointment and bewilderment and frustration and all those things, that's yucky gut soup, right? We can't hardly eat. We can't hardly sleep. Like, everything is hard. We have these crashing waves of grief washing over us. We will talk about grief in another episode. But grief is a long ways from the truth of the love and light that you are. So that doesn't mean that it's wrong to feel those feelings. Those feelings are there because you're thinking thoughts that are taking you from the love and light you are. Your thoughts are around, you're focused on the loss. You're focused on the absence of that person. You're focused on the dreams that won't come true in this life. Your focus is taking you further from the love that you are. The loving person in you would recognize that there is a way to deal with loss or grief or resentment or fear or frustration or guilt or anger or pride, whatever the negative emotion is, right? And when we're just reaching for the relief, we're just reaching for the next best emotion. So you're not going to go from grief to elated. That's a huge leap. It's just not going to happen. And when we talk about that, it's not like you're just trying to shove these feelings, stuff these feelings and not deal with them. That's not what we're saying. We're saying just recognize that the thoughts you're having are dark. They're going to the dark side, the fear side. They've left the realm of love. So when you're scared, frustrated, alone or lonely, the thoughts you're thinking about the situation, that it shouldn't be happening, it shouldn't be there, it's not right, you deserve to have someone in your life, you deserve to have a companion, etc. That's taking you further from the love and light that you are. The love and light that you are holds hope, optimism, possibly enthusiasm if you can get there. But it holds all the good emotions. And when we're talking about good emotions versus negative emotions, you're trying to get from the negative emotion to just feeling a little bit better. A little bit better. Find the next emotion. It's a little bit better than the last one because you're changing your thoughts. Your thoughts are the only thing that navigate your emotions. They're the only thing that changes the way you feel about anything. About yourself, about other people, about situations and circumstances, about the place you are in your life. Your thoughts are the thing that is determining the emotion because you are changing the meaning. So let's say the meaning. The meaning is that middle. It's the middleman we never talk about. So you have a thought and it produces an emotion. The only reason it produces an emotion is because there's a meaning in the middle. You assigned a meaning to the thought you had and it turned it to love or fear. It put it in a category, and within love and fear, there's all the other emotions. Okay, is that sinking in a little bit? So let's take the word supported. If you feel unsupported, like your thoughts are like, oh, nobody supports me, or if I'm not supported, I should start to be suspicious that something's going on behind my back, and I fear losing their support. So I'm going to really like check up on them and stalk them and spy on them. And like, if you are assigning the meaning to the word support as something that you could possibly lose, you're operating from fear and you feel yucky. Yucky gut soup is there. But if you think of the word support as in, I am fully supported, everything's always working out for me, and I always find my way through problems, like I am supported. I don't need someone else to support me. I'll figure it out. That has a positive meaning. There's an empowerment there. You can actually feel the confidence come back when you're changing the meaning of the word support. In your mind, you start to feel relief in your gut. Let's take a couple of, I was having a conversation with a friend, and she's like, well, I kind of feel sheepish being by myself. I was like, why do you feel sheepish being by yourself? It's like, because I'm like the only one that doesn't have a companion. I feel alone. I'm lonely. I'm like, are you lonely? Because I've got the impression that you really like to be in your own company. And she's like, well, that's true. I do like to be in my own company. So I guess I'm not lonely. What I'm saying is, isn't it weird for me to be alone? And I'm like, oh, so being by yourself feels lonely. But what if I were to say, or what if you were to say, I'm just going to spend time with myself? How does that change it? And she's like, whoa, that actually feels better to say, I love spending time with me. So even just changing a little word from by to with changed the meaning in her mind. And she was like, yeah, like that. Gosh, I don't feel weird. I don't feel left out. I am spending time with myself. That doesn't feel weird when somebody's like, hey, what are your plans for the weekend? I'm like, I'm going to spend time with myself. I'm going to go and be with my own company because we get along great. She was like, yeah, I got that. That really feels good. But anytime she told herself that she was by herself, then we have loneliness going on, right? Yucky gut soup. So that's how you change it in your mind. It's the thought you have. Check the thought. What was the thought that you had? And what was the meaning you assigned to that thought? Because that meaning is going to determine how you actually feel. And negative emotions are not in alignment with who you are. They are not giving you the true story. Because the true story was not that she was by herself. The true story was not that she was lonely. The true story was that she enjoyed her own company. So she was actually with herself. She was spending time with herself. And it made her feel better. And that's how she knew she was going in a better direction with it. That's how she knew she got the meaning reassigned correctly. So when you assign a meaning to anything, it means you're in danger, you're going to feel yucky. If it means you're supported, or it means that you're going to allow other people to have an opinion and it's none of your business, you're going to feel better. So let that sink in, listen to it again. Like, there's several concepts in there that we talked about in the beginning, the middle, and the end that are going to help you shift. When you feel yucky gut soup, that is an indicator that you are further from your true, light, happy, loving self. And when you, and basically you're not telling yourself a truth, because a truth does feel better. A truth always feels good, right? And so just pay attention. When are you feeling frustrated? What was the story you told yourself? Change the meaning. Change the meaning of the story, and it's really going to settle in with you so much better. Okay? Okay? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I invite you to leave your feedback and share your aha moments as you listen to this podcast. Also, you can access more information or any of the programs, courses, or worksheets that I've mentioned on these episodes on my website at teresaford.life.
Or what I would really love is for you to connect with me on Instagram at teresaford.coaching and on Facebook at Coaching with Teresa Ford, so I can give you more interesting insights and further coaching to help you fulfill the measure of your creation.